I always tell you guys that I will try my hardest to keep you up on what it is that I am doing. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. Like I said, I'm always trying to keep you up on what I'm doing. So this is what's actually going on. Now, I just did an interview, and it's actually on public access television here in Pittsburgh. So it's not actually, readily available to all of you guys. So what I've done is I've actually gotten the footage and I've actually compiled it here for you. I know. You're welcome. But anyway, I did an interview. The show is called The Mish Connection. And also the young lady who actually who owns the show, her name is Michelle Johnson. She actually is here on YouTube as well. And what I want you to do is go ahead and take a look at the interview. And there's another part to the interview that I don't have the footage to, and that's actually there was a musical performance that I actually did do on that show. So I'm going to drop the link below, and you can actually click that link and go over, visit our channel, and actually see the actual performance. I actually performed Lisa Fisher's "How Can I Ease the Pain." So watch the interview. We talk about a whole lot of stuff. And it was actually filmed on September the 17th of 2016. And enjoy. I definitely, I want to know what you guys think, so leave that in the comments as well. All right, guys.
The Mish Connection, Facebook.com/The Mish Connection. Coming up next on The Mish Connection.
Hey Pittsburgh, I am Milan of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm so excited to be hanging out with my girl Mish. I'm getting connected with the Mish Connection on PCTV 21. You need to get connected too.
It's all coming up next on The Mish Connection. Hey Pittsburgh, it's your girl Mish from The Mish Connection. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have a very special guest for you. I've been trying to get her on the show for years now. I finally got her for you. And so, help me welcome Milan Trejour.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
It has been a long time.
Yes. I am a huge fan of you. Seriously, like, let's be real here. Because I remember watching you. You were one of the first performers I remember in Pegasus.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to know this person. Like, I have to. Your energy, it just gives me life every time I see you.
That was that bar's gone now,
Yeah,
but that was a
unfortunately,
great place. That's actually where I started.
Yes?
Yeah, my very first show was at Pegasus. It's been 23 years.
Oh my God.
I've been at this. So, yeah, but that always makes you feel really good to see all of you children that have grown up. So now we're actually telling my actual age.
Oopsie. Now she's going to leave,
okay.
right?
It's okay. I'm all right with it. I've been around for a long time.
Yes, beautiful years. So tell me what you've been up to, because I know a lot has been going on for a while, and we're going to touch on everything today. I can't wait.
Okay, absolutely. The main things that I'm actually doing right now is here in Pittsburgh. Here in Pittsburgh, the one thing that I'm very, very excited about is my collaboration with Carmine's Family Restaurant.
Yes.
I am actually at Carmine's Family Restaurant basically once a month, and I'm doing a good old-fashioned variety show.
Good.
So it's talent, and that's my hashtag. Hashtag talent is talent.
Yeah.
So it's not just drag, and I kind of said that during my first show. It's not a gay thing. It's not a drag thing. It's a talent thing. So this month we did drag on the 11th of September, and then I'm going in tomorrow, and I'm actually doing comedians.
Nice.
And I'm going to have singers, hint, hint, and just all types of talent. That's my whole thing. My thing is to expose all of the talent, as much of it as I can, because there's tons of talent in Pittsburgh that people don't know about. But I could sure try to do my part in trying to get someone to see that these people are out here and they're hungry, they're starving to share with the world. So I am so excited about it, and the collaboration is working out wonderful. Actually, with Carmine's, that was like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Me and Carlene, who's the owner, the female owner, Carlene and Mike, we all went to school together, but me and Carlene have actually been friends since middle school.
Oh,
so
nice.
it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So very excited about that. The first show, the turnout was just amazing. I was shocked. I was shocked. We literally packed the place.
This type of space where everybody can just come. It's not a gay thing. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not nothing like that. It's just where everybody can come and have a good time. And if people have talent, they can just showcase. And not a lot of venues have that right now.
Absolutely. We can all coexist and coexist happily and enjoy each other.
Right.
Our differences, they're really not that big.
Right.
You know, they're really not that big. We're more alike than people would actually like to see.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we can enjoy ourselves. Trust me, there was some of everything.
Nice.
Every race, every nationality, every orientation that was there on the 11th. And everybody, we had good food, good talent, and a good time.
That's
and
what
then
I'm
we
talking
actually
about.
left from there, and we after party down at the rivers.
Nice.
I didn't get home until 1 in the morning. The show started at 5.
Right.
So 1 in the morning, I was literally, making my way on up the street from the rivers. We had a great time. We had a great time, and I'm planning on continuing to do that.
Good.
So I am totally excited. That's like the biggest thing that I have on my plate. Well, that's the biggest thing I have on my plate here in Pittsburgh.
So more dish. What else is going on?
Okay. I will be in Vegas. So it's my first time actually performing in Vegas. I actually went to Vegas for the first time, period, in April. And I had a lot of unfinished business, so I need to get back to Vegas.
Yes.
And I said, okay. And then a friend of mine, he's on YouTube, and he's actually Sean Bradley, if you look him up on YouTube.
Yes.
He and I have collaborated, and we are doing a 2-day event
Great.
in Vegas. And I'm going to be there performing myself, and I'm actually dragging the Lady Diamond with me. For those of you who don't know who Diamond is, just keep up with me and you'll run into her. It's like my BFF.
Right.
Diamond is the first lady of Pittsburgh drag comedy.
Nice.
Hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. Yes.
Yeah, Diamond's hilarious, but I'm dragging Diamond to Vegas with me as well.
Good.
We're going to have a blast, so I'm excited about that too. Where we are actually doing a party bus.
Okay.
And we'll actually pick up right at the water fountain at the Bellagio. And we'll be on the bus from 9 until 12. Just partying and stopping, taking pictures at the Las Vegas sign and different things like that. We're going to go down Fremont and all of that and partying. Did I say partying? Partying on the bus. Because that's what it's actually called, SLVS. It's the Supreme Las Vegas Soiree.
Nice.
And the soiree is actually on Saturday. The party bus is sold out. But if you go to www.slvsvegas.com,
You'll find more information.
you'll find more information.
Nice. Well, I know that a trip to Vegas with you talented people would be simply amazing. And I know that last time you went to Vegas, you had a lot of footage, things like that of the trip, and it was a wonderful time. Are you planning on doing this similar?
Absolutely. And it's so funny because we actually met, it was 5 of us, and we are 5 YouTubers. We all vlog, and we literally met each other on YouTube. We communicated for like over a year. And the very first time that we actually laid eyes on each other and actually met was in the airport. We all got together. We rented a house, beautiful house. Trust me, I don't live the way that I lived when I was a thing. Beautiful house. And we stayed in that house, and we are still, we're still connected. We will be going back on vacation again in April.
Nice.
Beautiful friendships.
Yes.
And it's so funny because, people are so down on social media and say you can't make you can make friends on social media.
Yes.
And Sean Bradley is actually one of the friends that, I met like that. And then now we are
A beautiful
a
friendship.
collaborative effort as well. So
Exactly.
yeah, definitely. Don't be afraid of social media. Social media is what you make it.
Exactly. That's true. And I know we have a lot more things going on right now. We have a lot to talk about with Milan Trésor. Come back to us. The Mish Connection will be right back.
What's up, Pittsburgh? It's DJ Scottro from 96.1 KISS. Come get to know me. Radio, music, and life. And don't forget to tell your friends to get connected on the Mish Connection right here on PCTV.
Hello, Pittsburgh. My name is Mish. Tell your friends to get connected with the Mish Connection on PCTV. Click like on Facebook.com/The Mish Connection. Facebook.com/The Mish Connection. Welcome back to the Mish Connection. Hey, Pittsburgh, it's your girl Mish once again, and I'm here with the lovely Milan Trésor. Now, Milan, I am a huge fan, of course, of you and your energy on stage, but you weren't performing for a while actually last year. Can you at least take us through why?
Yeah, 5 months. I was last July. I was actually diagnosed with lymphoma, cervical lymphoma. So I had a little cancer battle for 5 months, and it actually kept me off stage. I was in treatment for 5 months, so it was an interesting time. It was interesting. But again, I look at it as it was the building of a testimony. I'm doing well now. Doing well. I'm back to doing some of the things that I love. Of course, my life is different than it was last July. But yeah, this time last year, I was flat on my back at Allegheny General Hospital, and Allegheny General Hospital saved my life.
Oh, beautiful.
It's very important to get out, and if something seems wrong, then something is wrong. It was so weird because generally I don't, like every little thing, I don't jump up and go and run to the hospital or run to the doctors and say, oh, I'll get to it. For whatever reason, this time, 4th of July, I was, with my kids and all that, and I'm checking out the fireworks. And the next day, I had a toothache, but I had a small knot back here. And it would come and it would go for a couple weeks. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to go up here. And I just really wanted a prescription for penicillin, for my tooth.
Right.
Because I knew they couldn't do anything really for the tooth but give you penicillin, So this is okay. And that's what I thought I was doing. And I said, while I'm here, check that out. Well, that was the 5th of July. The 23rd of July, I was diagnosed. And it was cancer. And I was in treatment by the 28th. And it was crazy because I had no symptoms. There was no pain, no discomfort or anything like that. Literally, I had a biopsy done. And once they did that, it's so true. When you hear people say when the air hits cancer, it spreads and it starts to, as soon as the air hit it, my body started doing a party.
Oh, no.
And literally within 1 week, I had no voice. I had no range of motion with my head. Everything was all swollen. Oh, it wasn't pretty. It was not a pretty sight. Yeah. But Allegheny General grabbed the bull by the horns. I did everything right at Allegheny General. I had my treatments. I was actually there. I would be in the hospital for 5 days, and then I would go home for 21 days. And I did that for 5 months, and here I am. So I'm telling you, if there's anything you see or you feel is not going on with your body the way you know your body should be, get up and go and see about yourself. Go get tested. Ladies, mammograms, don't play around with that. Do not play around with that, because there's too many people who have actually left early. You know, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Get up and go and see about yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's nothing. And I look at it was the building of a testimony. So I wouldn't change any of it. I wouldn't change any of it. Before that, I didn't really have a sick day.
Right.
You know, when they looked at my medical record, the last thing they had on me was a tonsillectomy when I was like 6.
Oh, wow.
So,
Right.
so I think I was probably due for something to go on. I don't know about all that, but I was due for something.
Right.
But that's all it was, is a building of a testimony. And I wouldn't change any of it. And every time I get a chance to, I will talk about it.
Okay.
You know, I will talk about it. I'm very comfortable talking about it. Maybe my story will help somebody. Get up, go out, and get yourself checked.
Right. Very important. And I'm glad, because you just told me good news also.
Absolutely.
Today.
Yeah, I'm still in the remissive state. So, you know, they won't declare you cancer free. It's like 3 years before you're actually cancer free. But the cancer's not partying.
Right.
I'm partying. The cancer's not partying. So.
And apparently soon in Vegas again, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Good. Oh my gosh. So, of course, you have the Carmine, event coming up. Actually, very soon. You're going to do that once a month going forward.
October, when I get back from Vegas, I'm actually doing it's kind of a spin off of the whole RuPaul's Drag Race lip sync for your life situation.
Right.
It's a lip sync contest with a money prize and all that, and it's open for anybody.
Nice.
Anybody, female, male, and the best part about it is the judges are actually going to be the crowd. The crowd is going to pick the winner, because that's what it's about. Did you entertain us?
Right.
So who better to judge than the crowd?
Right.
And naturally, if the crowd can't make a decision, then you get big mouth meat. But but I'm sure my crowd, they pretty much know what they like and how they like it.
Right.
So I am totally excited for that. So that's going to be something. That's the Treasure Lip Sync Battle Royale.
Yeah.
That's what that. So that's for October. And then November, see, I'm going all the way out. In November, I'm going to bring a couple the queens will be back, but with some extra little things. I do all kind of little extra things. We have giveaways, and I love to give a good gift, so we do all that stuff. Yeah, because I gave away like custom jewelry at the first show, and
which you do
T-shirts.
Make jewelry.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It was so funny, and I'll tell this really fast. This story. There were 5 gift bags. I put all the gift bags up there, so there were 10 altogether. So there were 5 large gift bags, 3 small gift bags, and I sat and I watched, and they picked. Whenever we pulled people's number, they picked the big bags. Everybody picked the big bags. And then it was funny, because we get to the end and we still have these 3 small bags. And I says, well, let me now tell you what's actually going on in the small bags. One of a kind custom jewelry. It was hilarious, the hush that fell over the room. So we have a good time. We have a good time.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And plus, the good food there, too.
Oh my goodness, she is the best soul food in Pittsburgh.
Just saying, right?
Hey, it is what it is.
Yes.
My girlfriend throws down.
Yeah.
Her and her husband, they throw down. It's a wonderful restaurant. It really is.
Yes.
It's somewhere I frequent there anyway. I'm always there. Even when I wasn't doing the show, I was always dragging people. You got to go to Carmine's. Love it.
Yes.
Love it, love it, love it.
Oh, absolutely. Will you be performing frequently in the show, or you're just hosting?
I am always in the show. I am the one thing that you can't get rid of.
Nice.
So there is actually drag on every show,
right?
But it's me.
Right.
I'm the one thing that is always, a staple of the show. Me and that food,
right?
Over there at Carmine's. Those are the 2 things that will never change. So you always get me in some type of an outfit doing something.
Good. So where can people actually find out more about this?
Oh, absolutely. www.spillitboy, all one word, spillitboy.com.
and you can find and go under events, and you'll see the dates and everything.
You know what, Pittsburgh, you have to get connected with Milan Treasure. I'm telling you. You need to go on Google. You need to Google her. She is an amazing talent. And also, she has many different things going on because she wears many different hats. So you have to stay connected. And also, if you're talented, you might actually be performing in the show. You never know. You got to get connected to see. So, once again, thank you so much for getting connected with the Mish Connection here on PCTV.
Okay, guys. So you've seen the interview. Don't forget, comment. Let me know what you think. I'm good, bad, or otherwise. Put that down there in the comments. I need to know what you guys think. That's the way that I build and I move forward. So I appreciate all of your comments, and I do read them all. You guys know that. Definitely go over and take a look at the performance over on Michelle's channel. And also, what I've actually added here, I actually interviewed with her 3 years ago as James, and it was very interesting. So what I've done is I've gotten that footage, and I'm actually going to drop it here on the video. So go ahead and watch the interview with her and James 3 years ago. And it's funny because she always wanted to interview me as Milan, and I just didn't have anything major going on as Milan. Well, there's always something going on as Milan, but what I was focusing on was what was going on with James, and I wasn't crisscrossing the two, so I wouldn't answer questions about Milan. So that's why she, talked about the fact that she'd been wanting to interview me for years, and I wouldn't crisscross the two because they just didn't need to be crisscrossed at the time. But anyway, go ahead, take a look 3 years ago at my interview with Mish on the Mish Connection and see what James actually had to say. And again, leave your comments in the bottom. Let me know what you think, good, bad, or otherwise. It is what it is. All right, enjoy.
Hello, Pittsburgh. It's your girl, Mish. I'm here on the Mish Connection wearing chef design earrings, custom made for me. And I'm here with James Colwell. We're going to talk about his book. We're going to talk about hair designs, fashion designs. We're going to talk about everything. Let's get connected, people. Please welcome James Colwell.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi, James.
Hey, how are you?
I am good.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to actually have you because you are a very talented person. I've always known that. I'm going to let you know now.
I try. I try.
And I knew that you were an author and a cosmetologist. I just found out that you're a fashion designer working all these years on your own fashion line. Wow. So we have a lot to cover today, but you just came out with a new book.
I did.
Yes.
It's my fourth book. It's actually called Between Pews. And it's just done in the same vein as the other 3 books that I've done, which I kind of say the things that people don't always want to say.
Yeah.
I don't mind having a hard conversation.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to talk about that, especially even from your first book. But tell me, where are you from in Pittsburgh?
I am actually right from Pittsburgh. I am right from Manchester.
Oh.
So I am right in the area.
Yeah.
I've been here for my whole 41 years. I actually still live in the house that I grew up in. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And you are a father. You have 2 beautiful children.
I am. I have 2 boys,
Yeah.
Trayvon and Dawn Trey.
How old are they?
Trayvon is 9, Dawn Trey is 6. Trey will actually be 10 on the 25th of June. So.
Oh, how do they feel about their father just having so many hats?
It's not really all that important to them. They're like, oh, that's just daddy. It's no big deal to them. It's like, man, can we get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I'm not real concerned about a good blouse or anything like that. Peanut butter and jelly will be good.
Good. So, I mean, what inspired you to even start writing?
Well, the thing is, actually, I went to Langley High School, and I had a fabulous English teacher. Her name was Karen Williamson. And I was real interested, and I went through a creative writing class with her in the 11th grade. And I had the interest there, and I always was writing stuff, and I did all that. Well, fashion ended up popping in the 12th grade, and I kind of stayed there. And that's where I ended up going to Clarissa School of Fashion Design and get my degree and all of that stuff. Oh, wow. So the writing kind of took the back side. And I says, okay, no problem. I hadn't thought about it again. Then I was at a job that I didn't really care to be at. Yeah.
Which a lot of us
doing
are, unfortunately.
training, and they were training something that I actually knew how to do already. Yeah. So my mind was kind of wandering. I literally, in about 20 minutes, wrote the background for my first book, which is Love and Topaz.
Wow. Okay.
And I really wasn't thinking too much of it because I had already started doing poetry and things like that from my shows that I actually do here on PCTV. Okay. And I had gotten into the poetry and that kind of thing, but never thought about actually writing fiction stories or anything. I hadn't thought about those since 11th grade. I put it in my bag, said, whatever. About 2 weeks later, I'm sitting watching television. I go in my bag. It's like 2:30 in the morning. Pull it out. I'm like, you know what? Take a notebook. I start writing. 14 days later, it was a book.
Oh my!
So it just kind of poured out of me.
Yes,
and it was crazy. It was crazy.
What different events inspired that first book? Just to kind of get it started.
The first book is it's about a little boy named Topaz.
Yeah.
He's 16 years old. He is basically trying to learn how to love himself. He is a homosexual.
Yeah.
And so he has a lot of different little issues, a lot of different little things going on. He has a very dysfunctional family. Very dysfunctional. So there's a lot of that going on. And he's kind of having to learn how to kind of like love himself when everybody else kind of isn't. So kind of went through some of that.
Yeah.
And loosely, it is based a lot on me.
Okay.
Everything in the first book actually did happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It didn't all happen to me. Yeah. But I've either sat and seen these things happen, or I know the person that happened to. We just switched things around, made it a little more fun, and changed the names naturally. Okay. But as you go forth, Love and Topaz actually has two, it's a series. So there's Love and Topaz, Losing Topaz is the second, and then the third book was Learning Topaz. Okay. You kind of start to see the progression. You can see me and Topaz have a whole lot in common. Okay, we got the same birthday, little cute little things like that we're thrown in. But his journey is a lot of it is my journey. You see, he started off kind of docile, and then he gets a little tough, and then he starts saying basically what he wants to say, and he learns to have the hard conversation. So it's kind of, and I think the reason that the first book was able to be written so quickly because I was pouring. The things were just pouring out of me, and I found it was so therapeutic. I was able to let go of things. I'm 41 years old. I was able to let go of things that I had been mad about for years. And I didn't spend any money on a therapist. I was able to just write it out. And I said, well, this is crazy. I said, here I go. I rediscovered my writing. And here it is. I'm cleansing at the same time. So I said, well, that was the thing. All that pouring. I said, I'll never be able to do this again. I'll never write another book in 14 days.
And of course, all that changed.
No, because the second book took 3 months.
Oh, man.
And then the third book took 6 months. And then between Pews is something completely different. So it's not even Topaz. I'm not, dealing with that thing. It took 7 months. So that first book, that was supposed to happen. There was a cleansing that needed to happen.
Well, either way, I'm glad that you actually took a lot of events from your life and was able to be inspired in that. And even if it's loosely based or not, it's good to actually step into your world. I thank you for that, because, I can't wait to, look into it also. I know I'm not fully through all the series, but so far it's just juicy.
My life has been that way.
Right.
To be black, male, and homosexual, that's a whole bunch of issues all in itself. You have to embrace it, learn to love you.
Of course.
And, as long as you're respectful to people, people are going to be okay. Exactly. They're going to accept you, and things get easier. As you get older and you learn to deal, things get easier.
Yes,
and there's other people out there who have gone through it, so I don't feel like I'm special.
And that's
there's
the thing.
people that are going through it right now.
Yeah, and it's good to actually be relatable too.
Yeah.
So that's good. So we're actually going to get into so many things with James. Now, be right back. I got the connection here, so come right back to the Mish Connection. For coming back to the Mish Connection. I have here James Colwell. Now, I wanted to get into one of your many hats as a cosmetologist and a fashion designer.
Okay.
Now, what inspired you to first go to school in cosmetology? And tell me, how did that lead into fashion design also?
Actually, it was backwards.
Oh, really?
It was backwards. 12th grade at Langley. Actually, the summer before going into our senior year, I just had this thing. I've always I would draw clothes and people. Never knew why. Always looking at magazines, and I just had this whole thing with clothing, and I was how I looked. I was ridiculous. I had to be a certain way, and I didn't like tennis shoes, and I wanted to be dressed up all the time. Ridiculous. But I never put it all together. So that summer, going into the 12th grade, I ended up just buying a sewing machine, and I said I was going to teach myself how to sew.
Oh, nice.
Well, I had some help from my best friend, Lori Haslip, who she passed. She's not with us anymore. But her mom took me, and she helped me to get started that summer. And I went ahead and I taught myself to sew. I had a little help from her. I had a little help from a woman I grew up with named Vivian Younger. She's a wonderful person who I grew up with, who always knew that I was going to do something with my hands, because she taught me to crochet and to macrame.
I like crocheting,
I've always been doing something going that way, and Miss Vivian used to say it all the time, that boy's going to do something. My mom's like, no, he's going to be a computer programmer. She's like, I hate to hurt your feelings, but that's not going to happen. But at any rate, so that summer, I taught myself to sew. I enrolled in electives of sewing that year for school. And I was kind of a little too far advanced by the time I got back to school that summer. It was natural. It had picked up. Wow. I ran through the projects really fast, and I was basically in class doing, making dresses and stuff for my aunts.
Okay? I'm a little jealous. Yeah.
So it was a natural thing. So it just progressed. So by the end of my 12th grade year, I actually made my prom date's gown. So it was a very quick progression. I didn't know what I wanted to do, up to that point, but I knew when I left Langley that I definitely wanted to go into the fashion business. And I went ahead and I messed around for a year, because I had to convince Mom that this was going to go on. I was in CCAC, right on Northside, for business management. I did that for a year, and then I just couldn't take it. The creative took over. I went ahead and I enrolled in Clarissa Fashion Design School. I got accepted. I went for the 2 years. I got my degree. I found cosmetology within that last 6 months of getting my associate's degree for fashion design. And I literally finished school in March, and in May, I began Pittsburgh Beauty Academy. So I went right from one right to the other.
Yeah.
Did the 9 months, got my license, went right into the salon and started working. I worked for years for Flossie's, which is actually over on Penn Avenue.
Yes.
Danny, I worked for Danny for years,
Oh,
who I absolutely love, who is actually in the book. We'll talk about that later, but she's actually in the book, and her salon is actually mentioned in there. But yeah, that's it. Just kind of, we went fashion design, over to cosmetology. I didn't end up leaving, which is what I think should have happened.
Yeah.
I should have left Pittsburgh, and I probably could have really taken off with the fashion thing, but I did the hair thing, and it made more sense, and it just kind of, because we don't have a nightlife.
No.
Here. You know,
yeah,
we're learning. We're learning, we're getting there.
Getting better, yeah.
But I've always loved special occasion clothing.
Right.
So I love weddings, and I love proms. I did proms for years. I just stopped doing proms a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I love special occasion clothes. I don't want to make a short set. I don't want to make a pair of jeans.
Right.
You know, I've always wanted to do something special. So that's kind of where I was, but I'm just not in the right town to really thrive on that. I should have been in New York or California. I need to be somewhere where there's a red carpet.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, real life takes place and you're where you're supposed to be. And there's nothing that you can really do about it.
Right, true.
And I believe that. Once my children
Maybe
came
we
into my
can
life,
start
I
it,
knew
see?
it was true.
Right.
Yeah, because if I had left, I would have been here to get my children. So.
Right, true. Everything happens for a reason, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the line? What is the name of your fashion line?
It is, my nickname is Shaft. So everybody does it just like the movie.
Yeah.
Don't you dare sing the song. But I was given that nickname. I was given that nickname very, very early on. I have absolutely nothing in common with that character. Not at all. Not at all. So that's like a joke.
How did that work?
You know, but I don't think my mother didn't think it was a joke. But
Yeah.
Mom, it's a joke.
Yeah.
But so Shaft was what everybody knew me by. And I just started designing under the name of Shaft Designs.
Yeah.
And I did that for a very long time. And then I was going to change it. And for a little bit, I went with Trey 2 Designs because both my children's named Dawntre and Trayvon.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, and it was cool. But I got led back to my original. You know, at 41 now, I'm ready to do what it is that I want to do. Coming out, again, there was that whole thing about where I live versus where I should be.
Right.
Then I like one of a kinds. I hate duplicates. That's the only thing about weddings. Weddings are beautiful. I like being involved in the wedding, but I can't stand the duplication.
Yes.
You know, I love one of a kind, something special, something that's just mine.
Yes.
And it was always told me, you're not gonna be able to make money with that.
Wow.
You're not gonna be able to make money with that. So and that's a lot when I talk about my show, what you can do versus what you can't do.
Yes.
And I've always lived off of what I can't do. Please tell me what I can't do.
Right,
And I promise you I'm
please.
going to do it. So at 41, here I am. Now there's the internet.
Yes.
And I put it out there, shaftdesigns.com, and I can do exactly what I want to do. I don't have to wait for you to come and tell me, can you make that for me in green? If you've seen it on the website in red, no, I can't make it in green because somebody's going to buy the red one, and they don't want you walking around in a green outfit just like their red outfit.
Right.
So finally, I'm doing what I want to do. Yeah. I do jewelry. I do have some signature T-shirts and stuff, some fun stuff. But for the most part, the clothing things that I do, there's going to be one of them.
No.
And that's it. You know, it's something special. That's
Exactly.
me. When you think of Shaft Designs, just think of something special that's just for you.
Yep. And basic custom-made clothes. I mean, some people would actually really enjoy that when I was coming up, including myself. So being that you are providing something like that, it's time to go get this money. Ready? No.
Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, I've always hated it. You know, my grandmother, I've always been in love with my grandmother. So I always hung out with my grandmother when I was growing up. My grandmother, we would go out, we would go downtown. Yeah. We would go to get my school clothes or whatever clothes that we were going to go and get. Here we go to Kaufman's, well, it was Macy's now, but Kaufman's at the time, or Saks Fifth Avenue. You know, this is cute, but there's like 5 of those over here.
Thank you. Yes.
So, I mean, it didn't take very long before I knew, I don't want to do that. There is nothing worse than going somewhere and thinking you looking real sharp.
Right.
And you look up and somebody that strolled in and they think they looking sharp too. So that's where the sewing thing came in. Whenever, even still, if I think I'm going somewhere and I think I'm going to be sharp, I have not gone anywhere near a mall.
Right.
Other than Joann Fabrics.
Right.
You know, I'm not, I refuse. I refuse to be somewhere and see myself walking the door.
Right.
And I have no reason to do that anymore, so.
Yeah, right. Right. I mean, that's so good. I mean, I would love to see even more of your new designs. I know you have new ones coming up, so maybe hopefully one day here I will be wearing a shaft design myself.
Well, I actually brought you a little gift, so we could just skip right to that. So
I like gifts.
here we go.
Oh my gosh, just in a bag. Oh my gosh.
Now, the first thing, because there's three different things in there. The first thing in there is actually, that is a T-shirt that I designed that actually goes along with the release of the new book.
Oh,
so it's
nice.
Between Pews. And it's just a fun little T-shirt that you can kick around, throw it on with some jeans.
Oh, nice. And it's my size. Oh.
Yeah, what good would it be if it wasn't your
Right,
size? There you
right.
go. Now, this right here is actually one of my signature logo
I got to get it together.
T-shirts. That is the Shaft Designs
And
logo.
I love orange.
That's the Shaft Designs logo with the that I've done in glitter. So you'll find some cute things like that. Everything's not going to be so serious
Right,
on the
right.
website. There will be some things that'll have a nice price point that'll be fun.
Nice.
And now there is
Uh-oh.
jewelry. Those are one of a kind. You're not going to see those again. Those were made especially and given to you. So that's it. There's going to be that one.
Oh my gosh.
Because I know you sing too.
Yeah.
So I said my girlfriend needs some bling bling.
Right.
They need to see you coming.
Which I'll be performing at Cruise also coming up. I can't wait for that.
Excellent.
Yay.
But yeah, and the jewelry, I'm real big on. With the
Yes.
jewelry, there's one. That's it. I'm not going to do a duplicate. Just
Right.
one.
Thank you so
You're welcome.
much. I love gifts. You can come back anytime.
Yeah.
But we are actually going to be right back with James once again. I can't let him go now. I got all these gifts. So come back to the Mish Connection. Hello, it's Mish once again on the Mish Connection. Welcome back. I'm here once again with James Colwell. And look at my earrings, y'all. Look at my earrings. They're custom made for me. And they were created and designed by James Colwell. Thank you.
Excellent.
Now, I wanted to talk about your new book.
Okay.
Now, Between the Pews. Now, the title even seems controversy. Okay. So take us through what actually inspired you to do the book, and what did you bless us with on the pages? Tell me a little bit about the book.
Okay. Between Pews. It started off actually being called Church Folk.
Oh, okay.
And that was the title I had chose. There was another young lady who a few years ago actually did a book called Church Folk. She had a second part, and then there was also a third part. So I said, no, I'm gonna change that. The other thing, like I could talk about Topaz so easy. Yeah. Church is always a topic. Church is, I love the Lord,
Yeah.
and I love my church family. But church is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Church is very interesting. Church can be very interesting, especially when that little homosexual piece comes in there. Mm-hmm. It gets very interesting at times.
Yes.
So I've been to other churches before I actually chose my church. And I just said, you know what, this is easy. I can actually do this. I can do this. I can make something that is kind of pokes fun at some of the drama that actually goes on in church that
Not
nobody
the
wants to
religion
talk
or
about.
the spiritual,
No, not
just
at all. Just the drama,
the people,
and
the drama,
the foolery,
Right,
That actually
tomfoolery.
takes place. There's some tomfoolery that
Right.
goes on inside the sanctuary,
Yes.
and it pokes fun at that because we're all there, and then we're mature and we're adults, and now. Well, you're really not supposed to laugh at that.
Yeah.
When the spirit takes over a person,
Right.
it's cool, but then there's always that one person that the spirit didn't really take over.
Yeah.
And
They're just playing it
they're
out.
5 minutes of fame.
Right.
And you kind of don't laugh at them. You kind of start to ignore them as you get older.
Right.
I poke fun at them. So that's kind of And then once I didn't have my title anymore, I said, well, what am I going to do? Between Pews came to me. And then I said, oh, that title just is kind of rough.
Yeah.
It just seemed like something was getting ready to go on.
Right.
So I continued on, and 7 months later, we end up with the book. And it really it chronicles a church. And it's not a real church. I made the church up. I Googled, made sure that this church didn't exist.
Right.
But it's called Mount Bentley. And Mount Bentley is this big old church, and they have this big old congregation with a lot of tomfoolery.
Right.
But the thing is, the church burns down.
Oh, wow.
And the main character is just getting to this town. He has actually been to the church just a few times before it burned down, but he always makes reference to how beautiful the church is and that kind of thing. So what he ended up doing, because he works for a magazine, he decides that he's going to write a story to pay homage to this church. And what ends up happening is, as he's doing interviews for past and present members of the church to find out things about the church, he's not getting that. All he's getting is dirt on the pastor.
Right.
Okay? So it's a series of interviews that just everybody's trashing this pastor, and it just continues on with that. There's also a little love triangle that goes on in the book. I love triangles because it's always so dramatic.
It's always juicy,
it's always so dramatic. But the good thing is that I have fun with everything in this book is based in Pittsburgh. So I do actually make reference to real Pittsburgh places that I love.
Yeah.
And those places are all done in the best light.
Oh, yeah.
Like Carmine's.
Oh, nice.
Carmine's is a restaurant that just opened up over on North Side on West North Avenue. Well, as a friend of mine that I went to school with is the owner. So naturally, I put it in the book because I love her restaurant and the food is fabulous. So I put her in, but again, she's put it in the best light possible.
Yes.
I did get pictures with her and everything, and she was ecstatic with it. Same thing with Flossie's hair salon. I worked for Danny for years and years and years, so I was happy to be able to put her in. I make mention of the Rivers Casino, just places that I really love here in Pittsburgh. So it's kind of fun, and anybody who reads it from Pittsburgh, they're going to get a sense of pride because, you know, it's our stuff. That's our stuff.
Exactly.
But I do have an excerpt that I'd like to read from the book.
Please.
This is the book. This is Between Pews.
Yeah.
And it's actually, this part actually comes into play right where Edwin James is actually the main character. It comes into play right where he decides to put on social media for people to come to him so he can interview them.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here we go. It says, the next day, around 8:30 a.m., I put out a Facebook message asking for folks that are interested in giving interviews. It read, attention, past and present members of Mount Bentley Christian Church, inbox me if you would like to participate in an interview for an upcoming magazine article chronicling the amazing history of this great institution. Thanks in advance. By the time I got a break around 2 p.m., I had several inbox messages, but one stood out amongst the rest. It was titled Thug Pastor. When I opened the email, I was shocked and alarmed at its content. The email read, Thug Pastor, you are a killer of dreams. Dress proper and living proper, it seems. Oh. You wear loafers instead of Timbs. But your wrongs need to come to an end. Every contact with you is a business transaction. If there's no money involved, it's not to your satisfaction. Dealing and selling in the church, no matter who it may hurt. Performing counsel in the evenings quite late. Are these really sessions or just covered up dates? Inappropriate and ever so smug. You are not godlike. You are nothing more than a thug. The role you have is as a pastor, but this feels like slavery. Would you prefer that we call you master? I will not indulge. There's only one master, and his name is God. You, kind sir, are just a common thug pastor. I'm so glad that somebody is finally going to expose this dude. When I said too much a year and a half ago, I got jumped and beaten up by Kareem's personal deacons. I put my poem on the cars of all the members on a Sunday church morning and handed one in an envelope to the pastor's secretary. The following Sunday, when I showed up for church, I was assaulted. The police were called and did nothing. which was just proof that what I had wrote in the poem was true. Now that a magazine will be telling the story, I hope Pastor Kareem and his organization get what they deserve. Signed, Joe Mon Shippings, former member. P.S. If you really want to know some stuff, contact James Rhodes. He's on Facebook also. So that's the poem. That's the end of the letter. And it finishes out, it says, my eyes almost bulged out of my head.
Yes.
I knew that there were a few things going on at Mount Bentley, but I have never heard such behavior within the house of the Lord. I have to say, I did find humor in the way the poem described Pastor Kareem, but he is innocent until proven guilty. I didn't start this project to crucify the pastor. It was to glorify the sanctuary. But no one so far is giving me any real information about Mount Bentley, just dirt on his pastor. I saved Mr. Braun Shipping's poem and email and immediately sent the message to James Rhodes and waited the response. So,
What?
very interesting. It's I told you,
And that's just
tomfoolery.
one email
Yeah.
and just the one interview coming to pass. Yeah. You got to get this book.
And it just kind of takes off from there. He just continues doing interviews, and the dirt gets deeper and deeper. And Pastor Kareem's interesting. Yeah. He's an interesting individual.
And we all have to get to know this man and this congregation. So tell us where we can get a copy of that book.
Okay.
And all your other books.
Definitely, all of them. Actually, I am on Amazon.com. If you look me up by name, James Colwell, it's Colwell. All of my stuff will pop up. I'm on BarnesandNoble.com. Also, and you can go to my own personal website, which is www.jcnovels.com.
All right.
And you can actually get.
So they can
books.
actually get they can actually get more information on how to get a copy of each book. And I wanted to thank you seriously, not just for the gifts, which the gifts are awesome, but for actually taking the time. I know you're a very busy man. I know you had a lot to do today, and you just came down here, to chat with me. But I think what you're doing is positive, and you work so hard. Now you're just sitting and reaping the benefits. So,
well, I thank you so much for helping me to do this. This is the first interview with this book, and with it all being based in Pittsburgh, I think it's just awesome that it's actually being done on Pittsburgh community television.
Right.
So that's awesome. Again, this is one of those things in my life I think that kind of fell right where it was supposed to fall at, because I haven't done an interview or anything with anybody thus far, and I'm glad that the first person was actually from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Thank you.
I thank you very much for having me on.
And you actually have. And you're a producer here also at PCTV.
I am.
And you have your own show. What's the name of your show?
I have two. I have When JC Speaks, and that's where I do a lot of my poetry, and I basically say whatever I want to say, because PCTV lets you do that.
Right.
And then I also have a show that is actually called Words from the Soul, and that's where I get a little bit deeper, and I'll talk about some other things. But it's mostly, on When JC Speaks, I'll do interviews. On Words from the Soul, that's just me pouring out thoughts of mine.
Good. And they're always entertaining.
Yeah, little opinionated shows.
They're always entertaining, let me tell you. But thank you once again, James.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.